Hello everyone and welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the last episode, we found out the true nature of the speckled band and how it was really just a cat toy. Anyways, it's been a while since I've recorded and a lot has happened in life since then. So if I seem a bit out of it, that's why. But regardless, we will carry on. We will trudge forward. I also just wanted to show the screen because, it changes depending on where your last save was, right? Yeah, we were in Miss Pavlova's cabin. 1 second. Who's ready for some terrible Russian accents? Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. Oh, what's going on with my computer? 1 second. I've never heard my computer fans get so loud. It was honestly concerning. Oh, here they go again. It started cutting out the audio. I think maybe I have too many applications open. Anyways, on with the video. It was a little after 1 in the morning. I feel awful just doing this voice. It was so late, but I hadn't time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. Oh yeah, that's right, the cat's name is Darka. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats... Oh, wait, sorry. Voice. Oh, I forgot he got beat up. What was his voice? People do... Nope, that's the judges. Diaphragm. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. Nah, I don't think that's it either. She was so fast. She disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it. Yes. And I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. No. It's gonna bother me that I can't do his voice anymore. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. These fans are gonna drive me crazy. Alright, looks like the fans aren't stopping anytime soon. I'm wondering, I did see something from another YouTuber where they had their mic sit on their desk and then they had a box with like that soundproof foam on the inside. I wonder if I should try something like that. But my mic is on an arm. So I don't know how it I can't stand it on the desk, it would fall over. It has to sit in an arm that just kind of hovers in front of my face. But the sound of those fans are going to kill this video. I don't know why my computer's acting like this. Okay, I tried closing a few applications. Hopefully this works. Alright, let's finally make it somewhere. Some noise in the next cabin. Flashback. No, what happened to the audio? Nothing can go right today. But listen to this music. I wonder if I gotta turn the volume down again. So many decisions I gotta make. I decided against it. I'm just... Like I said, I might be out of it today, guys. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, they must be sleeping. Oh, that's why it's loud. I had to turn my headphones off and turn back on so my headphones automatically went to full volume. That's much better. If there was someone there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, I thought it safe to try to lure the kitten back again. Oh wait, Sholmes. So at that point, you thought it was safe to try and lure the kitten back again. By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Ugh, I can't talk. Doc always loved this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Ooh. Yikes. I nearly passed out with shock. I can't talk today. I heard her cry out, and then, oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Cosmo was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim slipping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Brouillet is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, then the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. I fall over all the time. Like, I don't think you need a ship and a cat, but... Like, that's a lot of big words to say, yeah, he got tripped up. But what became of the kitten afterwards? Ah, that voice is too deep. In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably relentless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. What is that? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? And where did it come from? He became friends with it. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Sorry for all the pauses. I just learned we're now on a time crunch. Alright, let's get this episode done. What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing aboard this ship? Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Prozoko? What? What? That snake belongs to you. He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him here. in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human? Who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, our gargantuan venomous snake, surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. What is this pose? Like just into existence. Like just Brizoko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long, but very gentle. He is adorable, like Granny. I think I just experienced divine punishment. Because I was starting to feel kind of proud about how I was getting the Russian accent, and then my throat just seized up. I literally ran to the other side of the room coughing. I almost threw up. Like, it's a good thing I got water by my side, but I think I'm just cursed today. He is adorable. I don't know if I can continue doing the Russian accent. Also, I know this is very stereotypical, but like, you could have used the word babushka, right? Isn't babushka or a babushka like isn't that the word for granny? I know that's what you call like a little old Russian lady who could still kill you, but like, he's adorable like Granny. It's venomless? Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Brizovka eats mice. Big, fat, round mouses. Oh, so is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course! How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this sprite. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a star and roll? It's not my fault. I did not make up stories. My Prozovka has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Oh, 1 second. I guess I'm just starting to hear things. I do like that detail, how, depending on if it's a boy or a girl, the dot dot dots will be lower or higher in pitch. Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then... Oh. Then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. Ooh. Throw her across the room! But... What are you talking about, Miss Mikodova? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Oh. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruto? Alright, you know what? I think I am going to lower the volume just a bit. Okay, I didn't lower it a significant amount, but I did lower it enough to where I can have my headphones at full volume and not have it break my ears, which I think might be a good pace. Because I was thinking of just turning my volume up, but then that would just mean you would pick up more of the fans. Anyways, we're finally getting somewhere. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruto? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. Ooh, here we go. Sholmes? I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh? I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruto-san, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. Ah, not again. When did you do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. Ugh, I don't like that cold stare. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. Oh, I just remembered something. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruto. Okay, so, I just remembered because I was re-watching some past videos. Alright, so, instead of Watson, he is Dr. Wilson. Dr. Wilson was the victim from the first case. That's why he's on the ship. Because we were the suspected culprit of his best friend's death. Oh my god, it's all coming together. I hope. Or I'm just completely dumb. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. Ooh. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Oh, listen to this music. Oh, this music is awesome. This scene is so cool. Whoops. No. Cords everywhere. Too many cords. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruto. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Victim. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. If he died from falling, how could he have ran a message? But we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Hold it! Hold it! Like, so British. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Cosmo's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Oh, starting to sweat now. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruto. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. Crime scene photo. How do I play again? Yes! Yes! The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That's script. It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. But maybe he was studying Russian? It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast, is it? I thought it was a more difficult language. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Because he would have died instantly. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulted in instant death. Instant death. But that autopsy report is outdated. I got a new one revised this morning, showing that it was almost instant death. Actually, isn't that what happened in the yeah, because Edward says that in the second trial. Another funny parallel. Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. What? So Susato-san has noticed it too then. But in this message on the floor side, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words... I actually don't know. Oh, the bell, maybe? Hey, how do we save again? Oh, okay, so we can save. Good. I don't like this screen. It reminds me of Three Houses, which I've been playing recently, and that game has drained me emotionally and spiritually. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to finish it. Maybe this?
Yes!
Oh, did I get it right? This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already had a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin? Oh. Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket. Right, this is getting just a little loud. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin. Wait, did that say when? Yeah, that when there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah. Yes, there was someone else present, Mr. Asogi's.
Hold it!
You're wasting time, I'm assuming the Russian?
Someone else was there? Da, of course, we know this.
What are you talking about?
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out.
Oh, yes.
The only other person in the cabin was young student when young student died. Was you.
Yes!
Yes. It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message. To be precise about the details. Would you mind? Ah, there he goes laughing. Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. Oh, 1 second. And we're back. So many interruptions. The person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asogi really died. Why wouldn't this person have taken all of the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item. You all suspect me, don't you?
Hold it!
Oh. Seaman Strognov?
Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills, and she went away to join ballet company. But before she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band.
No, so that's why she was allowed back on so easily.
Do not accuse ship's angel of being a criminal.
Ah, so that's it.
You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth.
Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You are a great detective. You should know. Look truth in the eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could get into cabin. Not Nina. Not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? And yet, it's impossible.
He's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so that they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid?
Oh, like the toy she has.
These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight, no threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruto suggested earlier, so wow. Alright. So Soda-san, how could you shift it onto me like that? I wanted to say something, but So Seaman Strognov has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. Ooh. He knows. And in this very cabin, and she knows that he knows, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind haven't been used before. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Naruto, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt to the cabin door from the outside? One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruto? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Oh, I'm getting excited. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruto? Point to the tell-in signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across. Oh, it's simple. It's this. Yeah, it's right here.
Yes!
Yes! Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe... Yes, it's what's known as the force of inertia acted on the objects. Is there nothing Susayo-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hand bolted the door. But then... Hello? Is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Inspector Osanaga. Oh yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to state that last night, after Mr. Asogi was killed? Oh, isn't that? I don't. Oh, so it's not so much the force of stopping, but it's the ship literally tilted forward. The SS Bury made another emergency stop? Ooh, this music. When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments... It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. I stood them all up again, didn't I? I thought I did that. Then we came into this cabin. We were surprised to see the same thing here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova?
Are you out of your mind? You say Bury made emergency stop?
Hey, I just realized, I think I may know this before, like the coils around his face. It's from the snake. So the snake probably rests on his head for like sunlight, and then he gets like tanned in the areas where the snake isn't there. Or it could just be his weird skin, but like, if I'm correct, that's a really nice attention to detail. I'm actually really impressed with that. And I'm impressed I caught it. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Well, there's a lever right outside. Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. There's a lever outside. Oh, it is simple enough. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh, yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow crewmen to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity.
Wait, it was you?
My voice. When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. I wonder if we should keep going. Don't want to make this too long, and we did just have an autosave. Nah, we'll keep going. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes? Surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed, whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself.
How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now.
Now, I'm sure all of that can wait until later. let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide across. I wonder if that's intentional. Probably not. But if it was, that could be a cool thing. I don't know. So, what we must now consider. Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You are idiots. Burye is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make an emergency stop, even in the middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Because she had to get on board somehow. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruto? Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that emergency gripped the vessel last night? Oh, maybe it's this?
Yes!
Seaman Strognov, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship, isn't that right?
Da, that is correct. Why?
And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with the mind to return it to you later. God, he looks so smug.
I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always.
Ugh. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase, "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... Da, because nothing happened.
But if nothing happened, you would normally write, "nothing to report," wouldn't you?
Oh.
Indeed, so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened, here aboard the SS Buria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish.
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh? Why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. What if it wasn't an emergency stop, but just a stop in general? That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. What of the throbbing? Sorry? What do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes, I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. What if there was something in the food last night? Think about it. Kazuma didn't eat his dinner because, like, what? It was chicken and he doesn't like chicken. So we ate his dinner. That's why he was awake last night. We were probably all drugged. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavier ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. Oh god, something's going on with my eyes. My eyes are going blurry. He's right. My head's been throbbing today. Too. Look at Jinzu, I have such a great time with this. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all of that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruto. You boarded this vessel as a well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Ah, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. I thought I gave you leftovers. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. I was right, it was chicken. Oh really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right, he didn't touch it. Is that relevant? It's the key to the case. My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh! Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say there was something wrong with the chicken? Oh, is this a good stopping point? I do. No! Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug. Oh yeah, you're a detective. You should know all about those. Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruto, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. Precisely. Lacing every meal of the passenger on board with a sulfuric drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. She used to work for the ship. They wanted to get her on board. They didn't trust the Inspector Osanaga because he was Japanese and wasn't there when she was on ship. That's why he was given a drugged meal as well. Oh, this is This is not your typical Ace Attorney bullshittery. This is like a well thought out Sherlock novel. Well, I don't know. I've never. Oh, by the way, I found a book with all the Sherlock stories in it, so I might try and catch up before the next chapter. What? Mr. Sholmes? Well, Seaman? I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. Is that his daughter? Because, like, he made it sound like it was his daughter, but he also made it sound like she just worked on the ship. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and embedding a renegade. Now he's... Oh, he's looking to the side. Please, no more. I will tell you everything.
Yeah?
I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes, so when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel.
Sorry, I need a sip. I don't believe it.
You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point.
Duh, we could not make all drug. How do you say, dissolve?
Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning. Wow.
At midnight, in what is near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat.
While all the passengers on the SS Bure slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion that evening meals had contained. So, if that's what happened, the only person awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who disliked chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. One second. And we're back. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Cosmo's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Yeah, it was nighttime. Most people lock their cabins at night. Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meals of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite, and accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkably to find the door locked in the morning. getting good at catching these things. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning.
You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point?
The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. But wait, didn't they use the emergency stop to get her on board? Or did they just have a rowboat catch up to the ship and then just throw her across? Because if they needed it to get her on board, it can't be her. This is all very strange. Wait, did I actually read that? There's somebody else present when the victim lost his life last night? Oh yeah, so I did read that. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. But wait, how would she get back into her cabin? Because her door would have been locked. All told, a busy night. But... I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl. Yeah, sure.
You like to speak with your long... You like to speak with your long...
I can't do it. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. I can't do it. I will puke if I keep doing that.
But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long-born stories. We don't believe.
What? Yeah, you're... Sailors tell stories all the time. Like, there's literally a whole trope of fishermen by the docks, you know, penny for your thoughts. Oh, wow, that's it. Fishermen by the docks, penny for your thoughts. Oh, that's actually really cool. Oh, man, I just had a strike of genius. Anyways.
Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes.
So then you don't believe in the idea of air. Got it. A laudable trait?
What?
I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruto. Oh, yes? Do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? Oh yeah, I should probably say this before they reveal it. I don't think she did it. I think Stroganov did it. Stroganov could have snapped his neck with his hands. Or the snake's hands. But I think, or the cat, maybe Stroganov went to go get the cat killed Kazuma from a fall, and Stroganov tried to cover it up. Because all the evidence points to her. So maybe she did kill him and Stroganov's covering it up? I don't know. What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes. For observation is the basis of all deduction. I think with that, we're going to end it there. Yeah, this seems like a good place to stop. So, thank you all so much for watching. I'm kind of glad to be back into this. It's kind of helped me with my day. But anyways, so as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.